someone the chairman for the upcoming year.
I'll make a motion, you take that spot.
Alright, we need a second for that.
I'll second it.
Alright, all agree to the motion? Yeah. Alright, need a, motion, I guess, to make the vice chair. And, I think that Gerald Hildebrand, or Gerald Childers, I'm sorry.
Well, that was close.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Gerald Childers, is vice chair. If I can get a second for that.
I don't know, I was kinda thinking I might like to try that.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay, I'm fine with that too. Alright, so we'll make, Jeff Weber, I second that, motion. We'll say Gerald made the motion, to make Jeff Weber the vice chair, and we'll make, Mr. Childers secretary. I'll make the motion to do that, if Jeff wants to second that motion.
Second.
Alright, all agree to that? Aye?
I'm gonna incorporate that all into one motion, it just.
Alright, sounds good. Only reason I said Gerald was in years past, the guy that usually comes in new waits 1 year, but it's no big deal, it's nothing personal. So make sure.
Like you did that last week, I forgot. You did that today.
Alright. Mr. Douglas, I think you're first.
Well, a little bit of Port District information, I think, we were talking about, any questions about that, or,
I'd like to get with you and talk it over, I like that idea, Port District.
well, we're working on a lot of different issues, and like Jeff said, he came to one of our meetings 2 years ago, I guess. Been a while.
Long ago, I can't remember much about it.
But we are always trying to figure a way to incorporate ag into it. Of course, that's a big industry in Massac County, so, with all that said, it takes money to develop, and it, takes property to develop on, and that's what we've been working on. And I've talked to different people, like Peoria's got a Port District, and talked to the manager up there and a couple of board members, and they weren't existing like 8 years before they ever really did anything, so. Everybody says just take your time and figure out what you can do, and their niche, there's always a niche somewhere. One thing that's coming up is the river transportation is, and everybody's been hearing the news about the bottleneck on the Mississippi. Well, Metropolis sits in a pretty good location because, if you want to go to the Gulf through the Tom Bigby, you can go down through the Tennessee and work your way down the Gulf. So that's an alternate route. There's a lot more locks, I think, is what they contend with. But from here down to the Mississippi, we only got the one lock at Olmsted. So if they get the new dam ever finished, it'll be faster to get through there from Metropolis. Like Gerald did say, we had some issues with high water here, but historically, once every 20 or 30 years, you deal with something. And we dealt with one last year, that was considered like a 100-year flood.
Yeah.
But we're sitting in a good place, and according to what all the companies have said, they like the idea we're trying to develop something. It's just getting it done. First thing I want to talk about is the budget that I'm proposing for my office for the next year. And I think I made a copy for all 3 commissioners. I already gave one of them to John. John, you got one.
Yeah, I'll let him.
I just wanted you to get a little view of what we got. The budget amount last year is on the left. The center is what we've spent so far in the last 12 months. And the requested amount's on the right. And just so Jeff will know, because he wasn't around, when I took this job 3 years ago, the budget was running around $50,000. And the city separated from the county, and so we had to adjust the budget because of that, and also because of, we didn't have the money. So we had to come up with ways to do things, and So one thing that happened was Stelsa, who's been a long-time employee of the office, she retired from the county and went to a part-time basis. She works 11 hours a week, and that's her secretary's salary you see on there. And then myself, I'm considered part-time, even though I'm really not. So the salary I got is considerably less than what you'd be paying somebody if you had to hire somebody full-time for the job. And I get no benefits, and Stelsa gets no benefits. So, you know, she didn't have the insurance and all that, and that's quite an expense for the county. So, with that said, give you an idea of what we're really dealing with. We've got 2 grants that we normally work off of, and I'll get these separated. This is, I didn't bring the whole grant, but this is what we call the nuclear grant, which deals with Honeywell here. You just see the figure on there, you pass around, each of you can have a copy of that. Just keep one of them, Jeff. And then the other grant we work off of is the regular emergency grant, which again, I've got a copy for each of you so you see the figure. Now, how this works is we combine those 2 grants into and that money comes in, the nuclear grant segmented in one account, and we have to tell exactly how we spend all that money back quarterly to the state. We do the same thing with the emergency grant, but all that money's dumped into the general fund, so it goes in there immediately. But we get it quarterly, so every quarter we get one part of that. We don't get the lump sum on the emergency grant. The nuclear grant, I've got that money already in the account. So if you add those 2 together, basically you come up with, you know, what, 27,000, which makes up for your 33,000, Jeff. So when you spend that money out, you're pretty well covering what I just showed you we budgeted. Okay. It's a little confusing, but that's what it amounts to. So my budget, we're going to spend this money. This money is going to come in to help pay for this. And that's about really all it amounts to. If you got other questions about that, you talk to county clerk, will tell you how that works too. But we do levy for that. So there's some built-in flexibility there, maybe one way to put it. Is there any questions about that?
No, but the Honeywell one comes in as a lump sum.
Right. And the other one comes in
Quarterly, and the one emergency grant goes directly to the general fund.
Right. And then occasionally, almost every year, they will give us we call it a 5th quarter, which is they take, all this money on that emergency grant comes, not the nuclear, but the emergency grant comes from the federal government to the state. Okay, and so they take that money from the federal, FEMA, distributes to the states. Every state gets a block grant from FEMA. And then the state then distributes to the county. And at the end of the year, if they come up, there's X amount of dollars still there not been distributed to the county, they'll make another distribution to empty the account. So sometimes we've got as much as $1,200 or $2,000 extra that comes in, which again helps you cover your expenses. So you can't depend on that though. It's just something that falls out of the sky. They call it the 5th quarter, which, you know, sometimes last year we got $300. 5th quarter. One year we got $1,200. So there's a lot of other things about the emergency office I could talk about, but basically I just want to have Jeff see the budget and also know what, you know, where some of the money was coming from.
I see anywhere you increase the equipment maintenance. Is there something that you see that what's going on next year?
Well, you know, when I came here, we didn't have that truck, and it costs money to keep the truck rolling.
Okay.
And so, you know, we've spent a little money on fuel and maintenance, and that's basically what it amounts to.
All right.
And I did put some radios on there, but those, like again, they're probably going to be covered out of the that's how I usually been handling that. And last year, I don't have it this year, but last year I got an EOC grant, but you had to write for that grant. I got $16,000 for that, which was, that's what I bought computers with and printers and stuff that we needed. So again, that comes from the Terrorism Task Force, which is part of Homeland Security.
They granted.
They granted me $16,000, but I had to write the grant, so that money, you can't depend on it. You just, if they say they got a grant program, if you want to sit down and write a grant, you can get the grant money. I was one of the few in Southern Illinois got it. We needed it, so that's how I ran some of the cables out to the parking lot that would hook up to a mobile command center, and in case we ever have to use our command center, they can bring one in, hook it up, and you know, it being a major disaster of some sort. But those are the kind, they give you a list of things you can write the grant for. You know, you might only have 15 things you can say you need, so you have to write it based on what their stipulations are. I would like to talk about personnel, so I guess what we'll have to do is go into a very brief executive session if somebody would put us into that.
I make a motion from the closed session.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, would you like to make me have a statement?
Yes, let's, go ahead with your statement.
I have informed the county board today that I'm going to resign effective January the 31st, 2013. And that's basically my statement. And it's nothing, no problem, it's just that I want to go to some other things I want to do. So.
All right. We appreciate your time and your service, and wish you hadn't made that decision. And we'll just try to move forward and get a person in there that you could maybe help with the transition.
Pretty good. I wanted to give you plenty of time so you know about it and work to get somebody. That's all I got, guys. Appreciate your time. And if you got any questions about the budget and all that stuff, let me know. Okay?
I'd like you to report on your desk, to show how much money you have.
Cheryl, I think you're up next for Floyd. You just want to tell us what's going on?
Well, that's our main situation right now. Last week I did get an income tax in for like $40,000, and they're still 3 months behind. They're caught up to date on all the other taxes, but the income tax is still 3 months behind. So I don't expect to get another one until next month, since we just got that last week.
Is like the other offices or anything be paying, like state's attorney's office or Larry's, or anybody paying any fees this next week, do you think? Is that possible?
Well, we got some state's attorneys last week. I'm sure this month, sometime this month, we should be getting some. Well, we used to always get sheriff's fees about every month, sometimes more than that. And we should get certain court fees, and we'll probably get county court fees. As of right now, that's all we have in county general. I don't project any more other than the fees from the other offices, you know, unless we get lucky and the state does send us more money. Matter of fact, I think we got sheriff's fees last Friday, I think. They bring on sheriff's fees 2 times a month. They're about right, Ted? About 2 times a month, I think. Yeah.
So there's our balance right here, correct?
54,000. And as of right now, like I said, I don't project any more unless we get, you know, it's just a fees from the courthouse. And hopefully state money. That right there is what that was the, that's the payroll and paper that I don't have posted yet. That was last payroll coming out of there. See, this right here is always beginning
Well,
balance.
yeah, we've got,
And since this is a new month, because I don't have December because I don't have December payables yet, so when they're posted, there'll be numbers like this. So that's why this is all written in right now, because this is a new month.
how long does it take you to do this? Get them all posted?
Well, I have 40 accounts I post to, so,
Just a matter of getting it done?
yeah, there's a lot of accounts there.
And
And
was
you've got
it
the receipts too.
Glenn usually takes some money out of it and gives us. Helps us.
It was,
Or for
that earned
administrative,
fair.
Earned fair.
Mhm.
but not the support services, just the administrative.
And earned fair's money there was from tax money.
So is it number 91 or 95?
95 is earned fair, 91 is earned fair administration, and the 98 is the general assistance.
So 95 is the one that you usually can pull some money out of.
No, 91 is the one that he'll pull money out of and put into 95. See, the 98 account is when they have to do their payrolls and their payroll out of. The 95 is the one that they use for earned fare for their clients.
Gerald, you got anything?
No.
How's Floyd's health? Is he doing better?
I'm sorry.
Floyd, how's he feeling?
He's having some tests run this morning.
What is an eminent domain checking?
That is the movie theater over here that the...
When the court system settled on a price for that theater over there, they put it, we have to hold the money till somebody claims it.
And it just pays interest, and I just never really think it's supposed to interest to it.
It's not ours, it's
No.
going away.
Yeah. But we have to maintain it.
Kincaid Mountain Grant, 0, is there any way we can just get that off our,
When the auditors tell me I can take it off. I have to leave stuff on there until they say take it off.
Any more questions on that?
necessarily?
All right, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. just need to like set a date.
That's right.
It'd be good for,
Okay. It's, what do we try to do it like maybe the Friday before Christmas, or is that too late in the year, do you think, or how do we normally do it?
usually, yeah, it's like that week before Christmas. Which I don't know.
That would be on the 21st, I believe.
Yeah. Would a Friday work, or is that how we normally do it on a Friday, or is it a Tuesday, or does it matter? I think last year we had to change it a few times, didn't we? I think the date kept changing, just different days.
But I don't, it doesn't really matter on the day.
But Friday's fine with me on the 21st, unless it's conflict with you all.
Haven't a clue.
Gerald?
That'd
Be in
be
Hawaii
fine
or
with me.
Okay.
We'll just plan on the 21st. You just get something printed up, send our house. We usually take care of the ham, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We will take care of the sides and all that.
We do the dirty Santa thing.
Oh, yes. Everybody's already been asking about that. And maybe we'll have some musical entertainment too.
Oh, yeah. We did, was that last year or the year before?
Year before.
Yeah.
So
Can you give us any hints who's gonna be here?
it's probably gonna be Sonny's daughter, Trish.
Okay. So maybe John was doing a solo or something, I didn't know.
I'm practicing. I'm taking voice lessons.
Now that would be a treat.
Him and Floyd and Larry did quartet.
Oh, wow. The three of them.
No, Larry's not involved, just Floyd and myself.
Okay. Larry come in there with those low tones.
Mm-hmm.
He would.
The baritone.
Be a good baritone.
What's our plan? What exactly are we doing with these people to help them?
Oh, we give them $100 a month and then a medical card.
Okay.
And the medical card pays for like $100 a month in prescriptions and then office visits. So that helps them out a little bit. So they can either get Social Security or get a public aid medical card.
Are they looking for work, or are they all?
These are, the majority are 55 or older, or they're trying to get their disability, or in need of medication for diabetes, seizures, or high blood pressure, and they can't get any medical assistance through public aid. So public aid refers them to us. But they have to meet those qualifications, you know, to be on the program. So most of them are ones that are pretty bad health, or older. Like your Social Security. So, any more questions?
That money's not necessarily coming out of general fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a line item in here, or as far as they got their own
Yeah, it's a
sizable account, it looks like. So where is your money? Is that coming from state
It's-
funds, federal funds?
The General Assistance Fund itself, I don't think they get any state or federal, that's levied locally. Now, your earned fare
It's from the state,
is from the state.
and that's money we earn. It's a different program. We work with the DHS office with the food stamp program, and clients between the ages of 18 and 50 have to work their food stamps off.
Okay.
So they come to our program, and we have to assign them activities and things to do in order to keep getting their food stamps.
Just studying and trying to learn.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Anytime you have any questions, feel free.
So these $100 checks will be coming out of the
That-
General Assistance Fund right
Yes.
here. And this is money.
This one here,
It's sort of like a wage you're paying them. I mean, you'll pay their wage out of this.
no, we don't pay them anything.
Okay.
Let's see, this one's I don't know which one's administrative. I think this is the money we give you guys at the end of the year. This
Earned.
one, yeah, this one account is used like if they need transportation to get to schooling. You know, we don't pay them like a wage,
Yeah.
we just give them help when they need it. Like if they go to college and they need help with books, you know, I help them with that, or transportation, job searches, different things.
Where would you send somebody on a job search?
Well, they have to fill out like a 3-page form, and a lot of times, now with Glenn retired, I let them use that computer, because a lot of, nowadays, you know, you have to go online. So they can go online and apply for jobs. And then they can go out.
I was just curious, I've had some complaints about that. Abuse of the system, I guess, is what I mean,
Oh, yeah, they don't, you know, they don't get much from,
Yeah.
you know, just,
well, my opinion is people who can be working need to be working.
yeah. That's our goal, is to try to, and if we do get them a job, we get reimbursed by the state.
Okay.
If they keep it, the longer they keep it, the more money we get, which in turn we give to you guys. It helps everybody.
Good to know, because I see help wanted signs out there. They may not be glorious jobs, but they're jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think that's all.
Okay.
Thank you, Lord.
All right.
Ms. Glasgow. What's up?
My December stack of resolutions.
Awesome.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, John. This is a resolution appropriating MFT funds to do maintenance with next year on the county highway system.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
This is just basically standard procedure
To spend county MFT funds, the board has to pass an appropriating resolution. And I send copies to IDOT, and then they appropriate the money to, or tell me that I can spend it.
County motor fuel.
County motor fuel, yeah. And this is for maintenance. For next year, all of next year.
You need all our signatures right there?
No, you don't sign anything.
just need a
You
motion.
pass a motion, and the county clerk's the only one to sign something.
So is this some of the money that, like the treasurer's office says that you brought in X amount of dollars?
There's, yeah, we have a line item, county motor fuel.
22.
Motor fuel, yeah, okay.
22.
So you're gonna be sent this money and then you get to?
No, we've got the money.
You've already got
It's
the money?
here in the account. I'm just getting authorized to spend it.
Okay.
IDOT has strings on all MFT money. They have to tell us they have to authorize the expenditure of that money. And we use it to build projects, to do maintenance, and different things with it.
So you're looking for a motion to approve this resolution?
That's,
I do so move.
Second.
All agree, say aye.
Aye.
that is a resolution authorizing funds out of the county motor fuel to pay the county engineer's salary and to do a transfer that we do to help the county of funds. Another allowed use of the MFT funds is to pay the
You
county.
wanna read a copy of that or?
Okay, I just need, yeah.
This is a once-a-year thing that John gets a pencil cramp.
Yeah.
As far as legally, it says whereas the county has appropriated $92,500 for the purpose of payment. Have we,
It will be in the budget.
will it be? Which budget would that be? I mean, how far back we gotta go before we've got a budget?
While back.
I don't know what's legal and what's not. I mean, I'm not disputing what you're putting in front of us.
I submit that in my budget every year.
It's submitted in your budget. So where's a copy of your budget? Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah.
This won't be in there, this is for next year. I'll try to get my budget in next week or the week after.
Is Patrick in court? Has anybody talked to Patrick?
I
I don't know.
you can go check with him, or I can text him, I gotta see.
Yeah. See,
What do you want me to text him?
see if, I mean, a lot of this stuff I may not get, I mean, nothing against any of you, but I just don't know all the laws as far as what we're signing and what we're not. I don't wanna do something illegal, I guess is what I'm telling you.
See where you're saying. This is the way we've done it every year. This resolution was written behind us. I understand what your question is,
My
yeah.
dates are the problem. I mean, and there may not be any problem. I might have already made an illegal
You
one
said
there.
Hey, this is Jason Palmer, this is Patrick Beverly. And well, can you just ask him, you know,
Here's all the accounts for the highway.
Thank you. I assume you guys didn't know you were gonna be in a long meeting today, didn't you? This is a budget you submitted.
I don't know if this is an appropriating resolution or not, that's what I'm thinking. This is, but I don't know. I just know that was written by IDOT several years ago, and I just changed the numbers and the date. Reuse the same resolution every year.
Mr. Windhorst.
It's from.
Mr. Weber's got a question here for you.
Okay.
Maybe you can handle it.
We're working on resolutions here, and I'm curious as far as without a county budget, what's legal as far as,
Can I come to the table?
you certainly may.
You wanted to know, I guess your question is, can we adopt this without a budget?
Correct.
This would not be effective until January 1st, the way I understand, is that correct? My advice would be, as It's my advice to them to pass a budget as soon as we can and within the timeframes required by law. Now, there are ways to continue to appropriate money and to expend money without a budget being adopted. In the past, the county board has passed resolutions continuing former budgeted amounts in prior years to continue on to continuing years until a budget can be adopted. And that is authorized so long as the appropriation is made pursuant to a resolution or ordinance. So the short answer is we need to pass a budget. If one has not been adopted for 2013, it needs to be adopted. But this can be authorized without a budget so long as there are funds available to be appropriated to cover the amounts. And with the highway department, that's a different ballgame than the county general fund because they operate with different funds than the county general fund. But I think your question about whether there should be a budget adopted is a good one. That impacts all spending out of the county general fund.
So legally, we can pass these ordinances
Yes. You can't set the salary of the county engineer
prior
through this
to a budget.
resolution. Yes. It would just mean that next year, for the budget for next year, that amount is set, that's fixed as his salary.
Okay. How does that figure compare with years past? Is that in?
Now, get ready to get an education on this budget.
It was a 2% increase. There's last year's, or this year's. And this was a 2% increase. And my salary is tied to a state recommended salary that IDOT comes up with.
Okay.
And last year there was no increase. This year they put a 2% increase in and raised it to the 92.
So is there a range that we need to fall in between? I mean, we need to keep up with trend or with their suggestions.
My appointment is set at the state recommended salary.
Okay.
And for 2 years it was,
It was the same, yeah.
it didn't change last year. They put a 2% increase in this year.
How do they decide how our county motor fuel budget, is that coming from what is sold in Massac County? Is that coming from traffic count? How do they?
On the county system, it is based on the dollar amount. They take all the MFT money allotted to counties. And we take a portion that's based on the amount of vehicle registration dollars. In other words, the amount of license plates, what's paid for license plates in this county compared to the whole state. Get a ratio and then multiply that out, and that's how county motor fuel is determined. It's mileage for road district and it's population for cities. It's different for all three that split that out. And the motor fuel tax is spelled out as to whatever's collected, there's a certain percentage goes to counties over a certain population, a certain percentage goes to counties under a certain population, and the municipality share, and then the road districts and township share.
So this figure is gonna be coming out of motor fuel tax.
County, yeah, this.
I understand there's a separate.
There are certain things spelled out in the statutes that motor fuel tax money can be spent on. All those things have to be approved by IDOT. I have to submit a program, and I'm to the point that I've got enough experience and I've been approved to approve that myself. But it's gotta be within the legal confines of what the statutes say.
Okay.
One of the uses, and most, not all counties, but most counties use the county motor fuel tax to pay the county engineer, because it's one of the uses in this, you know. That way it doesn't have to come out of some of your other funds that are a little easier to use. In other words, there's strings attached to MFT money. Even though it's our money, we've got it in the bank, there's strings attached to it. You can only spend it for certain things.
Patrick, what is our, working off calendar year for our budget, what is the dates to get a budget set? I mean, what's the,
Most counties that attempt to have a budget set for January for
that calendar
for
year?
that calendar year. You have to post or publish, make the budget available for 2 weeks, I believe, prior to its adoption.
In other words, it's time to get going. 12 months ago. When is the last time we had a certified or,
In 2011.
do you happen to know which date that budget was passed?
It would be on, it was passed,
In the 2012 calendar year, probably?
no, it
The
was in
2011, this is just based on memory, not on any official documents, but my recollection is that the 2011 budget was adopted in November of 2011.
They had motions to carry over the previous year's budget prior to that.
Is that what we're operating off of to date?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a flavor?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I second that motion. Everybody agree, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Any other questions you got for Patrick?
Possibly. You're signing invoices, correct?
Uh-huh.
That is giving the treasurer's office authority to pay these invoices. I assume, maybe fill me in, if there has been a resolution passed to continuation of the 2011 budget, is it legal to do what we're doing?
Yes, because the county is adopting
The
those prior numbers as the current numbers. Office holders would be bound by those numbers and would not be allowed to exceed any line item number without approval of the county board.
And how will we know if that line item is being exceeded?
It's up to each, well, without getting into all the technical aspects of it, it could be difficult without a budget in place to check, but it is up to each office holder to maintain their own records to make sure they don't exceed the budget in a specific line item.
Wow.
Now, in years past, when there has been a budget in place, it's just a matter of contacting the clerk's office, I believe, and asking for the numbers to be run, and you can tell where
See
you
where
match.
we're at.
Yeah.
Well, I think for now, that's just. Basically, there's no way I'm gonna step into this job today and be able to tell where we're at against the budget we don't even have. That sounds kinda dangerous to me, but that's just my opinion.
Well, it's the situation, you're right, Jeff, but it's the situation that the counties have sort of found themselves in the last few years. And, you know, with the state not reimbursing in a timely manner, and
Is the state not reimbursing in a timely manner, not only because of their budget
that
problems?
just, I'm sure,
Is it tied to
what we're
Massac
doing,
County not having a budget?
no. No, what the state gives us is stuff that is collected for Massac County by the state. And the state in turn is to redistribute that money to us.
But they sit on the money rather than.
And again, it's like us with our bills. I guess they distribute it when they get it.
Yes, they float the money basically, in a way. They take money in and they pay what they can until the money comes available to pay the next thing. They have a backlog of bills. It's, I think, billions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, I guess that's all the questions I got for you, Patrick.
Well, if you have any more, let me know.
I will, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Again, same situation, the money's in the account.
Yeah. This is something we do every year. Another allowed use in a unit road district county, which we are. If our county highways are in reasonable condition, they allow us to transfer a percentage by statute from the county motor fuel to the township motor fuel or county unit motor fuel for county unit motor fuel maintenance.
Who determines that the roads are in reasonable condition?
You know, I wouldn't ask for it if I didn't think they were in decent, you know. And there were several years this was allowed and I didn't because, you know. And
You
this
probably can't
is
sign that one, can you?
greatly beneficial. The road district roads, your county highways are mostly asphalt. The only county highway that is completely asphalt is Country Club Road from Mount Mission to 45, and that's the only one that we don't have asphalted. But our county highways are the asphalt pavements. And since we have asphalt on all those, we have been transferring this to the road district, and it's the only way we're holding the road district, which is your gravel and all your other oil and ship roads out there.
Okay.
Greatly beneficial.
Move to approve that resolution.
Second.
All right, all agree, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Anything else? That's it?
That's all I've got.
How's the roads? Any issues out there? Equipment running good?
I think so.
Larry, had a gentleman ask me about, on Mount Mission Road there at the Mount Mission Low School, that woods there.
Okay.
There's a lot of deer that, actually, I haven't seen them go through that woods, but south of the woods out of that field there. But he said he wondered if we could trim that back a little bit, it would help those tractors coming out of there. It's not out in the road.
We'll see.
It's-
If we can get cooperate, I've noticed that we're doing some of that in different places, so.
You know, I don't know now who owns that anymore.
I'm not sure who owns either side.
Well, now, Joe Jackson, I think, owns part of it.
Joe owned,
I think Bonnie Lilly owns something over there.
Well, I think on the back side.
Okay.
I don't know if Bonnie owns anything along Mount Mick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I drove down through there a while back and thought, man, we need to get with property owners here, see if we can trim some
So
trees back.
Biggers are on the corner, at Mount Mission.
Is he on the east side?
I don't know. Him and Jackson went and bought Jackson bought part of it and Biggers bought part of it.
There's
But
one strip on the east side, and then that woods is on the west side, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Jeff? Who owns
I
it?
don't know.
Who's the guy that works, Weisenberger?
Yeah,
Stuart
he built
Weisenberger
a
bought
house there, but I believe he
Well,
was.
Stuart bought on down.
Yeah.
on, he's on down toward 45, off of Country Club is where Stuart and his wife built the new house.
I'll bet Jackson and Baker's on the side.
See, Joe is, and we can find out, you know, but that's kind of been on my list already, so that.
Well, it's thick, well, you know, real thick in there, but
Yes, it
I
is.
actually haven't seen, Wally Mickloff's the one that said he'd seen deer run through there.
Oh, yes.
There's a phone number for Baker's right there. if you want it. Three three one
331, I'm sorry.
0396.
English Farm,
Nope,
no, okay.
I just know. Just bring. Is there any statutes as far as how far the county is regulated in keeping roads open, trees growing over?
Not that I'm aware of.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I've got a neighbor who farms in a different county that was bragging on the job you guys are doing because he has had issues tearing up some high dollar equipment going down roads that are not being maintained.
No, not that I'm aware of. We do it for a number of reasons. One, to let the sunlight in, because roads that get sunlight, especially in wintertime,
Oh, yeah.
get dried out better.
They just-
And moisture is one of our biggest enemies on roads. You farmers are needing it right now, I know, but moisture is one of our biggest enemies on roads. If you get that road base dried out, it doesn't pump, and that, you know, this improves. And so that's why we're trying to do it. And then, of course, if we happen to have ice and snow, it's better to get more sun into it.
Yeah.
But we just got the capability with our bucket truck now to do some of that. So we've been trying to do it, and we've had some good compliments from farmers. Thank you, I don't have to drive out around these limbs that are hanging down, and there's more out there, we ain't got to yet, but. Thank you, John. I'll step, I'm gonna leave you a copy. But no, I am not aware of, you know,
Or would it be the whole right of way you're responsible for?
oh, we're kind of responsible for the whole right of way, and that's why when we're doing it right now, especially since we've got the bucket truck,
Yeah.
and we ain't been able to do that before, but we've got that bucket truck so we can sit on the road and reach out there, and we're, in some cases,
Yeah.
kind of going right straight up at the right of way lines. Not always, but in some cases, or at least getting quite a bit of it, so that we don't have that overhang, so the equipment can
Yeah.
get through and so on and
That's
so
right.
forth. So, but we had, and we've still got issues, but we were having problems with that too before we got the bucket truck. It was a struggle for us to be able to reach them safely. Anything else, John?
No.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you, Larry.
Ted?
Morning.
Sandy wanted me to ask if there was any ways, we got some money last week to pay some bills, but she's getting more and more phone calls.
When'd you put the X's by?
That, you know, that would help, but she's really looking at the 120 in the 90 days. Maybe even some of the 60, I don't know what was available. We did pay US Foods one bill last week, and they were appreciative of that. balance to go down from 93 last week to 84.
What's this here on the Sean Awesome, John? Talking about drug trafficking fund.
Without going into too much detail,
Okay, I'm sorry.
that is exactly what it is.
Okay.
It'll get paid for out of the drug fund. But he had used a credit card to order it, so they wouldn't take a check.
Shoot, I bet you could dodge those drops. They're quick, aren't you? The sheriff's always fast.
One drop on this head would hurt.
Ted is, Johnson County, are they, sheriff department, are they union?
I think their dispatchers are, but the deputy, I don't think.
I was gonna ask you, I was going through the bills yesterday over here, just some of the old ones. Like Dr. Shelton's office or the dentist, what determines, cause I mean, I seen one went to oral surgery over there at, Hines and Hines over there in Roanoke. What determines why the inmate has to get stuff like that done?
Usually Tammy's the one that makes that decision. She'll come in and see him and, try to treat him as well as we can. But if you got a bad abscess, and it's something that Shelton can't do, I think John will take him to him first. And he'll look at it, he may say it's something that I can't do. You'll have to have an oral surgeon take it out.
I guess my question, I mean, I don't understand inhumane, but I mean, is it gotta be a bad situation for them to go to the dentist, or? How does that, I mean, is there laws that makes us have to take them?
Yeah. Any inmate in that jail has to be provided medical attention. That's why they do the 72-hour pre-screening first. Tammy comes in and looks at them, and she'll assess what their needs are. If she needs more advice, she'll go to Dr. Cecil. She pretty well determines what medication they need to be on and where they need to go. And we try to...
Even if they're not asking for it, we just...
No, they have to ask for it. Now, if it's something we can see and they're not complaining about it, we may even take them to protect us liability.
Looks like with Shelton, a lot of times it's just a tooth being abstract, like a tooth being pulled out or something.
But every once in a while, he gets in a position where he doesn't, I guess, liability-wise, he doesn't want to fool with it. So he recommends that somebody else look at it. Same way with, a lot of broken bones we have, the ER, if they can fix it out there, they will, but if they can't, they'll,
Because I seen like
someplace else.
some Cape Toronto x-rays, I guess they do work here, but they send the bill out to Cape.
Most of the bones we have set will be in, I think it's an orthopedic doctor in Herring. That way we don't have to take them across the state lines. And so I think we get a public aid rate if we go here in Illinois.
And the state don't pay any of that?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. What if it's a city person, the city PD pulls someone over and they have these issues, we're still responsible?
Whoever makes the arrest, when they bring them to the door over there, the correctional officer looks at them. If they're injured in any way, then he won't accept them. He'll make the police department, Brookport, whatever, take them to the hospital, get them treated where they're stable. They bring them back, then we have to accept them. Once they're in the jail, if they have any pre-existing conditions or get hurt while they're in jail, no matter whose prisoner, which agency brought them in, we're responsible for them.
the same, like, how about their, because I know it's like Metropolis Drugs, their bill runs, let's say $1,200 a month or something like that. We have to continue to maintain their medicine while they're there. Do we just give them the supplies that they need, like if they're in jail for 14 days, they just get a 14-day script?
I think John gets the least amount he can, and that may be like a 2-week script. And when they're released from jail, they can't take that medication with them.
On the other side of that, could we just ask them to bring other family members to bring medicine to them?
We do that. If they have medication at home, and we try our best to get that medication brought in. If they've got any insurance at all, we try to get their insurance company paid for it. But most of the people we have over there, you know, they're on public aid, or Medicare or whatever, and they just, you know, they don't have the money to buy it, and we're responsible for it.
So if they was on Medicaid and they come in, does their Medicaid coverage lapse because they're incarcerated?
I think that's a lot of it too. If you're on Social Security, once you're lodged in jail, your Social Security stops. But a lot of our big expense right now is because of the high population. A lot of these people on psychotropic medications, which, you know, some of these people run $400 or $500 a month in medical bills. And John told me yesterday that so far this year, our average daily population was 50 million. For a 40-bed facility, we're averaging 12 women a day. Last night we had 58 in jail.
Car's doing pretty good, not hitting no deers.
We just had one in the last couple of months. We've been real fortunate. We've only had one deer hit. Black and whites that we bought from Marion, we've got it on the road now, it's working out good, and we have the other one fixed, it'll be our spare car. So in case another squad car breaks down, we'll go with that black and white.
If we ever got in a position to sell any of the cars that we don't need,
We've got 2 right now, I'm waiting for another one to get detailed out, maybe we can have an auction where we can sell 3 of them.
what kind of money you think that'll bring for us?
$2,000 a piece.
I think that new car, or that, not new one, but the old car that we bought, the smaller car, he mislabeled it by Unity School, I say it was. Do they give us better gas mileage?
We should, like right now, Josh has only had this car for like a month, so we really haven't got an idea. But this one, you know, it's a canine car, so it has to run almost all the time, so it's going to use more fuel.
Keep the pet cool and stuff like that. See, the city, notice the newspaper's been working the interstates, and get some high-speed travelers that look like in the newspaper.
Yeah, they'll get their share of it.
Another one I seen where it went to Hines over there was the one that's been over there for a long time. The guy that tried to run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and John put that off as long as he could. Kevin said to find, you know, he's gonna be here a while longer.
Yeah.
Really,
I seen it was him. What the? It's cold. There's referral surgery.
He'll be making himself comfortable over there as he goes.
we're hoping the next 30 days will be available at another facility for him.
Ted, did Douglas ever go to court over there in McCracken for that DUI?
It was in the paper last week.
I seen it in the newspapers reduced.
To what?
2nd degree wanton endangerment. I think that's what they classify it. Could be like reckless driving over here.
He refused the test, or did he?
I don't remember if he did or not. It's been so long ago.
I don't know.
I don't know.
See, everyone went to court here.
I don't know if that's something you wanna go executive session over, past employee.
We can, we'll make a motion to go into executive session. Approve the holiday schedule.
Is it, yeah, okay.
Everyone had a chance to look at that, the holiday schedule for 2013.
Is it same?
Looks to me it is. You don't close early or nothing on Christmas Eve on that Tuesday?
I don't.
Okay.
They'll probably, you know,
You'll
I'll be here left. Yeah, that's the way it usually works. But there's, I have to be here too, just mainly because of the consolidated election. Oh, but by the way, Michelle,
Yes.
it's been signed into law that they're extending the filing period for the consolidated election through December 26th at 5 p.m.
Okay.
Now, they don't file them out, well, they don't have to file in my office now. When it was on 24th, I had worked out arrangements with other local governments to where I would stay over and accept their,
Because it wasn't going to be on the 24th.
it was going to be on the 24th, but there's legislation been signed where the final day is the 26th.
Okay. Is that when they start filing?
And that's the final day to file.
Final. Okay.
And your filing offices are to stay open till 5 o'clock on that day.
Okay.
That will help out municipalities such as Joplin-Brookport and Metropolis, but it's for the school system that's going to be off. I'm still offering to accept their filings.
Okay.
Everyone had a chance to look at the schedule. All right,
I'm sorry about that. I mean,
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. I'll make a motion then to pass the 2013 holiday calendar.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all agree, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Quentin, you got anything?
Oh, I was just gonna introduce myself to the new commissioner. Officially, I mean, we know each other, our daughters cheered together, and I just want to show verbally what I do. This is like a daily report. Whatever I do during the day on a Sunday, I get no charge because Chris covered the pound for that day, and it's like Monday was 6 hours or 6 miles because for my just clean and feed. This is just a daily report. I do it every day whenever I do something. And I do it whenever an individual calls or whenever the sheriff's office calls, or if I'm working with Chris or the city. Like yesterday, I covered for Chris. Well, I worked crazy yesterday because Chris was off, so I covered all the emergencies for the city. Other than that, no. Good to meet you. And that's what I do. And I just thought I'd let you know what I do. These guys don't know it.
All right, thank you.
Hardest working man in Massac County, aren't they?
Well, I try to be.
We're trying to get do extra duties.
Oh, and-
It's backed up on us.
This, there, oh, you guys didn't see that?
Yeah.
Leanne Williams out here, So What's New on the Gallagher edition. She done that for me.
That's nice.
And that's, of course, when you buy them, like for these shirts, all places like that, whatever it is, it's for the shirts and everything. But this is just, was $7.
Yeah.
And it's my own shirt.
Right.
So I may be trying to hit you up for reimbursement for $7. But it makes a difference when you look professional when you go do something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it makes you, the person realize who you're with,
Yeah,
and they trust you.
yeah. Yeah, most of them in Massac County already knows, 'cause I've been doing this for a little over 7 years. But
Right.
when they don't, it makes a difference.
Well, you wanna come up here and discuss Cedar Lane, see where we're at?
What I want to do is, I know it's been dropped, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Frank Walsh.
Yeah, Jeff Weber,
Jeff Weber.
at least once.
Yeah, I'm a Cedar Lane resident, and what I'd like to do is to see if we could schedule another meeting.
All right.
Give Mr. Weber time to get all the facts together. I don't want to have up on his, first meeting and say, I want a decision now. That wouldn't be fair to him, and, I got my eyes open. Mr. Taylor was gracious enough to show me the plat.
Well, I never studied it that much to see that in there too. I mean, Actually, our county engineer found that.
And I'm glad it's in writing somewhere, you always have hearsay, it's, my question is, can we do anything for the residents? And I kinda look at it as, is that plat actually, the aspect of that part is actually legal? Because it violates the Illinois Plat Act and the resolution the county has passed prior to that. Says nothing on the plat about superseding any of the above listed Plat Act or the resolution for Cedar Lane. That'd be a question for Patrick, and I appreciate everybody's help and everybody's concern in this. And I'd just like to see what's the next step we need to take. Do we need to have another meeting in here? Kind of like an informal / formal meeting with several people, or do we need to go ahead and just say this is what we're going to do and have a full-blown meeting like we did last time? Which I thought was really productive. We got a lot of things out in the open, and we know where we stand, but we didn't stand as firm as we did before, as I was led to believe. But hopefully, we're all adults and we can work something out that's going to be both beneficial to the residents of Cedar Lane and to the county, and even the tax assessor, his office.
Personally, Frank, I'd rather have it in here. I think most of the people voice their questions the other night.
Yes.
We just have it here, and Patrick would be here, and Glasgow would be here,
Okay.
and we'd be here.
Well, that's fine with me.
Could, give me a few days and let, Jeff think about what he wants to, maybe he wants to meet with Patrick and have some questions, or Larry Glasgow.
And I fully understand that. That's why I'm here now, just kind of slash off the record, if you say, to kind of set up things and don't want to ambush anybody by any means.
Okay, you say you have your eyes open, you've done some homework that I don't know about now.
Okay, what we've done is we've actually went to the courthouse. I finally saw the plat for Cedar Lane, 2nd edition. And it has a section in there where it says the drives and the lanes will be maintained by the developer.
Yeah, privately owned and maintained.
Privately owned and maintained, which was something I don't think anybody that lived in Cedar Lane was aware of.
That's a fact that should have been disclosed to you before you bought your home, that's for certain.
That is for sure, and it was not. And I bought my home 4.5 years ago here. And that should have been brought up in a title search, and it should have been brought up as far as the realtor, because I know the realtor knows what's going on out there. So, we're all victims here. A lot of this happened before our times. It's just how we can be proactive and pick up the pieces and move on.
Yeah.
And, we don't want a subdivision like that. I think there's 49 houses out there to go to heck in a handbasket just because the roads are bad. Because you're actually going to get to the point now. I talked to the assessor, as he said that these estimates are going to start coming down now because of the roads. So the county's going to lose money, and the county's not in a position to lose money. Nobody is. Economy is prepared to lose money. We need all the money we can get, and us as citizens of Massac County need the help from the county that we can get to, that we feel that we actually contributed to. So if you get back with me, Jason,
Yes, sir.
you got my number.
Yes, I do.
I'll give you my card. I've got my number on it.
You got 2 cards handy with you?
Put your name on the back of it. I greatly appreciate it. You just go to the office and pick up some more cards. I've been politicking here lately.
There you are.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I know you talked to Mike Biggs about
Yep.
this, and he says he knows you, and
Yep.
he has the highest regard for you.
Yeah. Want to do everything possible.
We don't want any preferential treatment, we just want to be treated fair. We want what's in the best, and I know that your situation is what you do for the citizens of Cedar Lane. You've got 4 more subdivisions waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So it's not just a one-time affair. You know, all this, I really hope that we can come out to a workable solution. So, if anybody's ever got any questions for me, I've got my cards and my number. You know, feel free to give me a call, me or Mike, and we'll do our best to answer anything that you got. We just feel we need our.
Well, Frank, have you got a solution to the others that are gonna need maintenance also? You brought that up.
I think they just want road maintenance. I don't know, I can't speak for those people, because I'm not that involved. I really just recently got involved with our roads again, because I had come here 4 years ago and I was waiting for an answer, and then I had disc removed this summer, and going down the roads kind of refreshed my memory a little bit. So
Kind of rough, wasn't it?
yeah, a little on the rough side there. I wasn't prepared to go on the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And you know, all the road in that subdivision, I think there's 1.25 miles road. It's not all bad. I mean, we have some real good sections in there.
Yeah.
And we're not asking for somebody to come in there and wave a magic wand on it and fix everything at one time. We realize that, you know, that you're in hard times, economics times too. Look at the world, you know.
Yeah.
You know, look at the government, you know, financial cliff situation, you know.
That's right.
So, you know, we're looking for just a little help, you know.
Sure.
And, you know, anything that you do out there would be appreciated.
Well, we will definitely be in dialogue.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I know it's a big responsibility. It's, you know, you've got a lot of things to catch up on.
Oh, yes.
Has anybody got any questions for me as to?
No.
Okay. So you get ahold of me and
Yes.
maybe by the end of the week?
That's what I'm hoping, maybe by Friday, give Mr. Weber a chance to maybe speak to Glasgow and Mr. Windhorse and John too.
I don't want to do this behind anybody's back. You know, I want all this off and above board. And the biggest thing I want to do is have it a learning lesson for everybody so the county doesn't get caught like this, or the residents in a situation like this again. The ultimate goal is not to let it happen again.
Okay.
I thank you for your time. I know I was not scheduled to be on in this meeting, but I appreciate your flexibility.
You're good.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
I was early, I got out of the doctor's, I've had eye surgery, and so I had to get my stitches out today, so I don't look too good, but look like I've been in a boxing match, and I don't think I won. But I'm Sharon Glass.
Jeff Weber, good to meet you.
Nice meeting you. I'm former county treasurer, and Gerald knows me, and Jason, Mr. Taylor. I just wanted to take the opportunity to come and speak to you all, and I know there's a lot of hubbub in the county going on about what's been done. And I just wanted to address this board because as former county treasurer, I sat back and I thought, well, can you get involved? And I've been out of politics for a while, and I thought, no. I'm very upset about this because that was my office, and I worked for almost 30 years in it, very hard. And I just felt like the board needed to be addressed on this subject because people in Massac County are upset, very upset. I have nothing at all against Mr. Rushing. I think he's a fine person. I know his family. I've known him for a long time, ever since we were kids. And I think he's probably very well qualified. But the process that the Democrat Party took was wrong. And I think, Gerald, I think you, in your heart, could agree with that.
I would agree.
And that office has been totally, utterly ignored. And I'm very disappointed in the party and what they have done. I have 2 letters I have formulated. I have put one to the, let me get my glasses here, if I can find it. But a letter here that I've fixed for the board, and I've also sent letters to every Democrat precinct committee person. And everything, so I'll just read this first letter and then I'll give it to you all because I want this to be a matter of the record that I have done this. I want this to be public record because I feel like the people in Massac County need to voice their opinions on this because this should have never happened. This should have never come to this. Never should have come to this. Okay, this was actually addressed because I probably should have been here sooner. I didn't realize that, I guess, I forgot about the reorganization this soon, so. But this actually is addressed to Mr. Hilbrand, who was the chairman at the time of the board. I'm not sure, have you reorganized today?
Yes, Jason's
okay. Well, as former Massac County Treasurer, having served for over 27 years in this fine office, I would like to address the board as to the events concerning the appointment of Mr. Randy Rushing as Massac County Treasurer. To start off, I certainly have nothing against Mr. Rushing, nor do I question his qualifications to do this job. I have known him and his family for a very long time. What I do question is the board's procedure, and you, Mr. Chairman, referring to Mr. Hildebrand, because I feel this is something that I feel in my heart. Well, I don't feel, I know in my heart, this is something that is made up. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. It was something that I know has been in the works for a long time. But anyway, what I do question is this procedure. The Democrat Party only appointed him as precinct committeeman a couple of weeks ago. This was done, no meetings, no calling of any kind of meetings whatsoever. None whatsoever. That's unheard of. I'm sorry. How convenient that was. Never serving in the Democrat Party, nor attended any of the meetings, or contributing to the party that I ever remember during my serving as treasurer. One would think that the Democrat Party would follow protocol, Mr. Chairman, and offer the position to one in the treasurer's office. This has always been done as far as I know, and any one of the deputies in that office are well qualified for this position, with over 30 years of experience. What is happening here? Are we playing good old boy stuff? Perhaps so. Other Democrats' resumes were turned in to no avail, and I know that for a fact. In fact, I have received a phone call from 2 different people in the community that are Democrats that was interested. So I instructed them exactly what they needed to do. You know, needed to talk to the chair, they needed to talk to Mr. Sullivan. They earn that respect to be talked to first, and Al offered that job in there. And he says, what's the fuss? Well, the fuss is that the board, with the exception of you, because I know you was a nay, you are not appointing a Democrat to the board as the law states. Despite wording from the election board, there's not a gray line. It's the right thing to do. The right thing to do. All due respect to you, Mr. Rushing, and any other person that might seek this office. I could go on and on with a lot more and would like to, but I think that you have my point, Mr. Chairman. You should have done the right thing and the proper thing that you did not. I know this will probably fall on deaf ears, but my refusals to keep silent over this would be even more appalling and certainly put a mark on my tenure as Massac County Treasurer. Not to mention the respect that I have for the deputies that work there so tirelessly for me while in office and have worked tirelessly for the Democrat Party. I feel that a new vote should be called and this farce you call an appointment be put to rest. And I am putting in Dana Jones because she's got the experience right now. She's got the experience. Mr. Rushing does not. And the treasurer to fill the remainder of Mr. Sullivan's term. And then if somebody else wants to run, declare your politics and run. That's what it's all about. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. It would be the proper thing to do and serve Massac County in a much better manner. She does have the experience and qualifications. I proudly serve the good people of Massac County when in office and consider it an honor and a privilege that I have served for so many years and respected the office that I serve with dignity and pride. So to keep silent, I could not. So that is my letter to you, the board. Copies for each one of you.
Was you able to speak, because this is what we have from the Democratic Central Committee, Mary Ruth Grana, was you able to speak with her?
Yes, I spoke to her briefly, I put in a call, she didn't get the call back, so I called her back. And she was busy with her family holidays, and I understood that. She was supposed to call me back. She did not. She did not call me back to discuss it. I was very disappointed that she didn't call me back. I wanted to listen to both sides before I even made any kind of a decision. So therefore, that told me that I didn't have any business saying anything, which is wrong. I'm not going to sit back. And I know the people, I have talked to people in the community, Democrats, Republicans, I've heard people from the Constitution Party, they're very upset about this.
I talked to Tim Pierce, he called me last night.
Yeah, and it's not a matter of Dana, Judy, Judy and all the rest of them in there. It's the thing to do. It's what should be done. You know, here it's 2 years out for him. Floyd's not in good shape. It needs to be somebody in there that can finish running that office. Hey, after 2 years, maybe she'll say, you know, I don't want this. Then let somebody in your parties, your party, come in, declare it, and run. That's what the law states.
Sharon, this Wilkie girl,
Sure, she's turned in a resume.
well, she did, to Mary Ruth.
Did you see it?
You never got to.
Never got to.
It's been 30 days. Never got to.
I had 2 other people. I don't know if they ended up turning a resume into them or not. So
I never have
what's
seen
going
You
on?
had 2 others besides Miss Wilkie?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's going on here? I mean, you cannot, there was no meeting call. As a matter of fact, that office was never notified of any meetings going on in the last 4 or 5 months, and there was no meeting called to offer anybody going before the Democrat Party to say, hey, I'm interested in this job. That's the proper way to do things.
Yeah.
It's the proper way to do
But
things.
isn't really the issue, not the commissioners, but the Democratic Party?
You're exactly right. That's why this letter here has been sent to every precinct committeeman. For all the good it'll do.
Yeah.
This is a matter of record also. I don't care at all. I was not going to sit back and remain silent. It is. It's a party issue.
Right.
And that shouldn't have to come in here before this board.
Because the way I understand it, the Democratic Party makes a choice of who they want, and then we vote on that.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And that, they say, the election board says there's a fine gray line, but fellas, listen, what's the right thing to do? I mean, you know, if we don't start getting things back and doing things the way they're supposed to be done and the proper way you're doing them, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This office, John's office, and that county treasurer's office is the hub of government. Every one of these other offices do their job. They've got monumental work to do, but that office right there and that office over there is your hub for your county, taking care of all the bookwork. And believe you me, it is not easy. It is not an easy job for either one of them. And I know you're limited on funds. It's a shame. It's a shame. Because you all, every time you come in here on Tuesdays, you ought to be thankful for that office and thankful for that office for everything that they do, because it's hard. It is hard. Keeping up with all the paperwork that has to be done. I'm fired up. I'm upset. Of course, I've had this surgery. My feelings are right here, and I can't help it, but I'm very upset. And it's not just, like I said, Dana, Judy, and Cheryl. It's the process, the procedure, and what has been done. What has been done. It's just not right, and I feel.
So what you're saying is the Democratic Party did not have a normal meeting and say, hey, this is our people we want to discuss, what's everyone's opinion?
Exactly. They have ignored that party. They have ignored that office. They have not spoke to them, and I don't even win. Of course, that's nothing that you all can do anything about.
Right.
But they have totally, utterly ignored them in the whole process. There, I think, have been 2 people decided what this appointment was going to be about. And I know in my heart there's been 2 people, because you didn't know about any meetings or anything. And when a meeting, I don't know how often they have to meet. We used to meet fairly often, and have our meetings and discuss things, and that's what should have happened, and that would have been fine, you know. Let them go in there, Dana was interested, present herself. And supposedly if Randy's a Democrat now, which, I mean, you know, 2 weeks doesn't make it, and, you know, I was raised with values in my family. My family was poor, and my family taught me that you earn your way. You don't let things be handed to you. You work to achieve those things. And I don't think 2 weeks is earning your way. I'm sorry. And I don't mean that as derogatory toward him at all. I really don't. I just think it's a farce, and I think it's terrible, and I don't know whether you can, probably can't, but I think a new vote needs to be made and make a decision as to, is this what you really want? Is this what you really want as county commissioners? Is this what you want? And I don't want it to be an infight with anyone else or anything like that, but I've said my piece. I had to get it off my chest because I feel very, very, that office is precious to me because I spent a long time up here, long time. And I tried my best to take care of that office the way it should have been taken care of. And I feel, and I'm very proud, I feel like I did, because I feel like if I hadn't, people would not have put me back in there like they did. And they wouldn't put you back in like they did. And they won't put you back in if you don't, or you either. And they have. And I feel it's hard for you all to make decisions up here when it affects other people's lives. But you certainly need to appreciate, and you're new on the block, so you're getting a new lesson today. And so there won't be an old upset woman maybe coming here every Tuesday to do that. But I appreciate you all listening to me, and I hope I've made some kind of difference, and I hope that the people in the county will get on y'all. I do. I hope they will, because I feel that it really needs to be done. There's a copy for you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Well, all right, I appreciate y'all listening to me, so now I'm going to go home and soak my wounds here.
You look like a 35-year-old in the morning, won't you?
Oh, definitely. Well, see, I told the doctor I had to have a basal cell removed from my nose, and it's healing really good. Watch the sun, kids. Put plenty of sunscreen on. I didn't. And it's healing good. And then I had to have this done, and that's why I said, well, I told him when he started, I said, you better make me look like Raquel Welch. And I said, start right here and just work your way up. So he told me today, he said, well, how do you feel about your eyes? And I said, well, I feel really good about it, because I said, I was getting where I couldn't see. And I asked him, I said, well, now, do you tattoo the eyeshadow on? He said, no, I don't do that part. I said, well, if you don't do that, then I said, because I just won't let it be done if you don't. He's a very good young doctor, plastic surgeon, and over there at Paducah, Dr. Ballard, but he's very good.
Sharon, the Republicans will be mad over that.
I know they are. I've talked to a bunch of them. I have, and they're very upset because, like I said, there's nothing. I have nothing at all against Randy. I've known Randy, and he's a CPA. I'm sure he's got good qualifications. That's not what I'm here for. It's the whole procedure, and basically, like you said, the Democrats should have never let this happen. And apparently, because when I talked to one of them, it was like, well, you just don't know what's going on. I said, no, I think I really do know what's going on, and I know what went on. And it should never come to that, never. Like I said, offer it, have a meeting, put it before them, but no one of them didn't seem to want to listen to me, so I had no choice.
Well, Gerald, why'd you vote for him? That would have stopped it right there.
Yeah, actually, Judy, at the time I didn't think I had a choice.
You're your own person. Everybody has a choice.
Well,
All you had to do was say nay like Jason did. And none of this would be laid out here on the table right now.
Well, I suppose there's probably nothing that really can be done at this point, but if it's not, I hope everything does work out fine for the ladies in the office, because they've got a lot of time and experience in that office and their careers.
And probably one of us is going to be laid off. With our budget, the way it is, we don't have any money. We've just been fortunate to even hang on as long as we have. Before, everybody would have had a job, but the way it looks now, somebody in that office is not gonna have a job, thanks to you.
And I just really hate it for everybody, and I realize that you all are under constraints with budget and stuff like that too, but fellas, try to find a way to support these, especially, now I'm not taking anything away from the other offices, but these two offices, because they're the ones that's gotta take care of all this stuff for the government, believe you me, I know. And it's hard for them to come, and I feel for them with Cheryl when she has to come in here and give you all the balances, and she's having to do that manually. That takes a day or two to have to do that. That's tough. And you're questioning in your mind all the time. I don't know if I got these, I hope I got everything down. I hope this is the right balances, because when you're signing these vouchers and stuff, if you've got an account that not due to that, and a fault of theirs that's not got proper balances in it, then who does it look bad on? It looks bad on that office, and it's not good. And then it looks bad on you all for having signed things that there's not enough money, maybe, possibly. Who knows? And that's a hard line to have to follow when you can't do that. And I feel for all of you, I really do, because I know it's tough times and it's hard, but do your best. But I sure would like to see something done, and then, like I said, in 2 years, if it wants to run, let him run. That's the way it should be.
Thank you, Sharon.
All right, thank you all. Go out here, I think it's quit raining, boy, it came a flood a while ago. Whew.
It did, we needed it.
Yep, it sure did.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ed, you got something else?
Yeah, Honeywell. Sandy just opened this up, I'm not sure how we want to take care of it. This is the bill for Honeywell fixing the boiler. We don't have a line item to cover that.
Jeff, I don't know if a few weeks ago, which you maybe heard at the meeting that you were at, they had issues with the boiler. Triangle tries to help us out sometimes because they're local, but it was kind of above what they normally do. We had Honeywell to come in, and they serviced it. They had to go get a part back where the St. Louis. So the bill's about $1,600.
Yeah, well, I can't understand. I thought they was qualified to do anything to it. They put it in, did they not?
Who's they?
Talking about Triangle?
Triangle. Wonder why they couldn't fix it.
The guy that came over here today, was told Marcia that he didn't know how to fix it, so they sent an older gentleman over, just kind of give us an overview of how the thing worked. And he wasn't gonna fix it, he just wanted to tell us what our problems are. And then next week, we had this problem with it.
Yeah. What, do you think that Honeywell is qualified to?
Oh, Honeywell is, and that's
I mean,
why
I'm sorry, Triangle?
the guy that came over said that he didn't know that much about this particular type of system.
Well, how come they sent somebody over not qualified to?
Well, they didn't charge for that particular guy, though. The gentleman has said that he does not know what's wrong with it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they not agree that they wouldn't charge for that
I've never seen it
particular?
yet.
Okay.
Like I said, Honeywell did say that they would come down and meet with you guys sometime after first year. Probably.
Okay. But, problem before it was just, I mean, maybe we can do something where not be under contract with them where we're paying each month. Maybe we just had problems with paying. I don't know. It's offline. Your question is what line item would we pay that out?
Yeah, that's when people pay.
That would be contingencies.
Okay.
Just leave it with you, or?
Yeah, I have Juanita make the claim. And Jeff, I don't know if you were familiar with it, but what had happened, the boiler got to the point where it built up pressure and was ready to blow.
Safety shut off, yeah.
And then finally, it just wouldn't work at all. And that particular week, unfortunately, it wasn't like the weather we're experiencing today. It was getting cold.
And he took the clean out plugs, it was full of mud.
Yeah.
So they had to wash
So, is the boiler working now?
Yes.
For the time being?
The problems that we have now are the registers throughout the building. Some of them work, some of them don't work.
They think they're stopped up with that mud, is that what they're thinking?
Calcium, hard water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, how many years has it been using this water?
Yeah. That's what I asked him about, if the filtration system would work. He said, that would work in a way, but it's gonna clean out the deposits in the registers and you'll have holes show up. Because some spots, maybe rust is what's holding it together.
That would be some sort of a flush that would cause that problem.
That's what I was hoping, if somebody could come in and actually go through the system and show us maybe what we need to get fixed. Do our maintenance program.
So you've been in contact with Honeywell?
They used to do our service work until, was it last year?
We had a maintenance contract. I'm not even sure, I don't remember exactly when that all took place. A lot of that started back with when Sam was here, I think, Sam Dunn.
I think that, what was the contract, around 18,000 a year? Just the maintenance.
Yeah, it went up every year. That might have been what the last year was. We haven't had it now for, 2 years?
Yeah, I think it's probably been 2 years. Well, you're still Sandy's in the contingency fund, I guess is.
Take care of it. If Mike calls, have him get a hold of one of you guys to set up a meeting, or just?
You can give my cell number or any of our numbers if you want, however you want to do it.
Try to get a hold of him.
Okay.
Call.
Thank you, Jeff.
Southern 5 appointments.
Yeah.
I need them.
Here's Lisa's name and phone number.
Okay.
Well, actually, I can't, is this it? What should you do?
Let's see what this is.
That's something to do with something else. Rick Bayless. I think we have until December the 8th.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, this weekend, isn't it?
December the 11th, maybe. That's what she handed me. That's not actually Southern.
Oh, this is about getting cameras in the courtroom. Extended media coverage in your courtrooms.
Mary Grace was talking to me yesterday about that. I think he's in a meeting today about it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the chief judge is wanting to, when we're talking about chief judge, we're talking about the chief judge of the circuit.
So the meeting's gonna be this Thursday at 9 a.m.
Yeah, and well, honestly, I don't know what, to tell you the truth, I mean, if there wasn't, court systems wouldn't allow cameras and extended media coverage in the courtroom, I'm not sure what your role is, but you probably want to be I mean, if we want to keep Michelle out, we just make a special exemption for her.
I'll try to attend. It would just be here at the courthouse.
Yeah, it must be, probably in the judge's chambers.
Okay. Yeah, all of us.
Or anybody
attend,
can.
yeah, whoever wants to attend.
Because when it boils down to it, they're going to tell you what you're going to do.
Right. Well, I know Larry had mentioned yesterday that he had to go to, I think, Mount Vernon today, where there was all the circuit clerks supposed to get together to talk about what that really means. And the way it was explained to me was there would be, I don't know, maybe certain cases that are supposed to be televised.
There may be, I'm sure they'll have it qualified out.
Yeah, it's not that it will be everything, it's just, I don't know what qualifies something for that.
I bet they won't do it for traffic or anything. I'm sure it's just certain jury trials.
Right. And he mentioned something about having the cameras down in the kids' room. I didn't know what he was talking about. If it meant it was just, I I don't know what that is, I don't know, I thought, I don't know, we just have to find out what it's.
Down there by the general assistance. I guess they're taking kids down there unsupervised. Just turning them loose.
That hasn't been utilized very much
No,
whatsoever. I mean,
I've
it's,
seen anybody in there.
So I don't know. I don't know if you know where that room is, it's,
just off general assistance. It's
Yeah.
As you're walking in straight into general assistance, it's the little
Mhm.
room to your left
it's painted blue maybe.
before you go in.
Who's turning kids loose what?
Someone had to go to court.
And they didn't have a babysitter.
They
That
just
was,
take kids in there and shut the door and come back an hour or two and pick them up.
That almost sounds like child abuse to me.
So,
well, it was designed, they're supposed to be, the parents or some responsible person was supposed to
Be taking care of the kids.
be watching them. And we had a group come in that supplied it with toys and everything. But as it progressed on, I think some of them just, and you're going to become more astutely aware of some of the people that do actually come into the courthouse.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're here for a reason.
They just take them down there and unsupervised and just turn them loose, let them play. And without supervision, I mean, unfortunately, they're just dangerous places in the courthouse. I mean, the electrical outlets are old, and
Just running down
I mean, the idea is good, but it's just getting everybody to get on board with how it should be operated. But are they just talking about security cameras down there?
I don't know.
Say there's a push on to get security cameras in the courthouse, and that's, that's all fine and good, but who pays for it?
Yeah, well, every time we spoke with the judge, they don't wanna pay for it, Judge Jackson does. You know. I mean, someday we'll have to probably have they want us to have security, for them to go through a metal detector. If we ever see that day around.
You coffeeing down, Gerald?
there. Yeah. Trying to keep going.